Today, very briefly, want to tell you about a brand new wireless microphone system from Saramonic called the K9. It is a digital UHF wireless microphone system. Its nearest competitor is clearly the DEITY THEOS system. So just like the DEITY THEOS system, it is a dual channel digital wireless microphone system. And rather than just read out all the features and the specs, let me just kind of highlight what both of these do and what is different between them. And then we're going to come back with a very detailed review later on. I've only had a few hours to work with the K9 system so far, so I don't have everything I need to do a full review, but let me tell you what it's kind of give you the lay of the land. First, they both record 32-bit float to their transmitters, and of course they're wireless transmitters as well, so you can either transmit wirelessly in the United States or you can record. You can't do both at the same time. In other places outside the United States, you can actually transmit and record on the transmitter at the same time. That's due to patents held by another company in the United States. Bummer, I know, but that's the reality, and that's true both of the DEITY THEOS system and the Saramonic K9 system. They both have timecode generators built into their transmitters, so if you're using them as a recorder, you can jam sync them with an external timecode box and then attach that timecode box to your camera, and then in post-production it's very easy to sync up the recorded audio from the transmitter to the camera footage. They both have very wide frequency band support, so from 550 megahertz up to 900 and some megahertz. Obviously, not all those frequencies are necessarily available to use in an unlicensed fashion in all countries, but the app does, when you open it up, it checks your GPS location and then makes available the frequencies you can use there. They both have wireless iOS, Android apps to control the transmitter and receiver system, to sync timecode, which is really nice. They both have switchable RF power up to 100 milliwatts. Both have 3.5 millimeter monitoring on the transmitters and on the receiver if you're not using the second output. There's some nuance there. And they both include the mics, the output cables, the whip antenna, hard cases, everything you need to get started. So they're both about the same price as well, which is right around $1,000, just over $1,000 US. Now, what is different about them? The Saramonic receiver has a screen on the top, so it makes it a lot more convenient to put it in a sound bag and be able to see what's happening. It displays, for each of the transmitters, it displays the signal status, it displays a meter, and it displays the battery status, so that's really nice. However, the Saramonic receiver is not an antenna diversity system. We'll talk more about what that means in detail in the review that's coming up in the next few weeks. On the other hand, DEITY has an ecosystem of timecode generators that you can wirelessly jam to with the very same app that you're using to control the DEITY THEOS system. So that's really nice. Saramonic doesn't have any sort of timecode generator products at this point, so to jam them, you're going to have to use a wired connection to jam them to the transmitters, the Saramonic transmitters, to a timecode generator. So it's a little bit more of a manual process. DEITY also has wireless digital slate that you can jam to the THEOS system. They also have an RF distribution box and external antennas. Incidentally, I should mention that Saramonic K9, just like the THEOS system, does use SMA connectors on its receiver and its transmitter, so you can swap out the antennae, but also you can attach an external set of antennas to the receiver, which is nice as well. So that's the high-level difference between the two. Now, of course, the devil is always in the details, so I'll need the next several weeks to work out what those differences are, to do a lot of testing with the K9 system and comparisons with the DEITY THEOS system. We'll be back in a few weeks with a full review. For now, I'm learning what I can over here at NAB in Las Vegas about new gear, meeting people, things like that. In the meantime, get out there and make some great sound, and we'll be back with you very soon.